Right, I've just seen a picture. Was trying to Google for quadratics, this one does, and I thought it was a brilliant way, a really neat idea for factorising quadratics. So let's just show how this works. Let's give you one like this: x squared plus 7x plus 12, and let's make it equal to 0 so we can solve this. We'll solve it by factorising. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little diamond here. It's a really neat way. And remember, I want two numbers that make the plus 12 up there. So I have that. And then two numbers that add together to make plus 7 there. Okay, so two numbers that multiply to make plus 12 there, and two numbers that add to make 7 there. And you put the answers in those boxes there. And you can see that actually it's 3 and 4, which tells us, and it's plus 3 and plus 4. So therefore it's x equals 0, and I've got one is plus 3, the other's plus 4. So I can see that for this bracket to be 0, x must be negative 3, and for this one, x must be negative 4. So there are my two options. Okay, let's try this again with another set of questions. Let's just think of it here. X squared plus x minus 20. So here we go. So I'm going to draw my diamond a bit bigger so you can see it properly this time. Crisscross. Two numbers that make negative 20 at the top there, and that when you add, you can't see it here, but that's a plus 1. So here I've got a negative and a positive. So I know one's got to be a negative. Let's make that my negative and that my positive. And two numbers where the biggest number is going to be, when I add them, I want the bigger number to be the positive, okay? But two numbers multiply together to make negative 20. So you can run through it all, but really, hopefully you'd see that it's 4 and 5. So I've got 4 and 5. Now this is the plus, so it's going to be the bigger guy that becomes my plus, and the smaller guy that becomes my minus 4. So there we go. So that means, let's do it down here. So I have my bracket x, and I'm going to put minus 4 in and plus 5 here. There was not equals 0, it was just factorised. So I've just factorised it there. Let's try one more question. Let's try something a bit more tricky, if that hasn't already been tricky for you. Let's do x squared minus 8x take away 9, and let's equal this to 0. So again, what we do, we draw our diamond, and if I get into the same courtyard of habit, it's really good. So that's where I multiply. I want to multiply to make minus 9, and that when you add makes negative 8, because remember it's AM, as this should have been AM, and this one here AM. So keep that right. So that's my multiple. So this is where I multiply, and this is where I need to add. Okay, so two numbers that multiply to make negative 9, that when you add make negative 8. And that's quite a tricky one, but I realized that it's going to be 1 and 9. And then I got the biggest one's going to be the negative, because that's going to drop it down. So that's going to be the minus there and the plus there. And notice plus 1 times negative 9 is negative 9, and that when you add them you get that. So let's put them in the bracket and equate this to 0. So I get x, and I put my plus 1 in here and my negative 9 in here, and then I can see that when x equals negative 1, that's what we call a root, that's also equal to 0, or when x is 9. So they're my answers there. Kind of neat really when you think about it. Hope this has helped. Talk to you all later.